Hi guys, and welcome to a coffee chat. I'm Dr. Boomer Brown with Doing Good at Work, and thank you for taking just a few minutes of your time to invest in your life to make your life better. Well, we've been talking about who am I? And we've been looking and trying to understand how an individual, all humans, shape their self-worth, their self-value, their self-image. What's happening on the inside? Does all that come from the outside world? Do we work on that from the inside out? What's the best way to go about doing that? And what I've been introducing you to is this model of a human being, which has three parts. You've got your body, how you relate to your physical world, using your five senses to receive senses from the outside, bring them into the inside, predominantly the mind, where you can sort through these, the three components of the mind, the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the creative subconscious. See, all the things that happen to us, we store here on our mind. The mind is one of the parts of the soul. The soul has the mind, the will, and the emotions. And the mind, as we talked about last week, is where you store all this stuff. It's the place where you can bring sanity to a situation. It's a place where you can get information to help you make good decisions. You can look back at the mind lesson last week and learn about that. If you missed it, you can watch it for the first time. If you want to review it and share it with someone else, that's a great idea. Now this week, we're looking at the part of the soul that is called the will. And I want to use these three circles over here to point out how we go about the idea of expressing our will. You know, the will has sometimes been referred to as the mental faculty, the faculty decision-making process of the human being. How we get motivated, how we, move forward. The will is often referred to as the choice component. We've talked about the freedom of choice, the freedom of action. It seems to be here in the mind that we gather information, and then we use that information to impose our will, our choice on some situation. So how do you develop the will? Well, these three circles here will help us. One of the components in the three circles up here is what we call reason. Okay, and we take reason. This is what we know, what looks logical. Some of the things we extract from our mind, some of the things we learn. We take reason and we combine it with, common sense. Common sense. So reason and common sense plus one more piece, this is reality. Where reason, common sense, and reality intersect, right here in the center, this is the will. Now you can override your will, and you can make decisions that maybe are not good decisions. You may know something in your mind. You may have reasoned and thought through it. You may have been exposed to some common sense behaviors, but you may completely override reality and do something that is total counterproductive to your best interest. Or you may need to be, as some great athletes, that moment in time where you know what it is that you want to do from reason. You're using common sense and you understand the barriers that you have to overcome. You see the reality, and from inside you, you bring up this power, this will, this desire, this drive to overcome something, and you achieve a monumental success, a goal, or something in your life. That's what will is all about. It's a part of the central soul of the human being. And when you get mind and will working together, it can do lots of good things. At the same time, if mind and will and your emotions are not working together well, that can cause some bad things to happen. It can be a recipe for disaster. The will sometimes has been referred to that which separates us from other animals. And a lot of that is predicated upon the idea that most other animals, unlike human beings, aren't able to reason. Okay, they may have the concept of reality and Maybe they're familiar with their environment and have some type of common sense expression. But humans, because we have a will, are able to reason, and when we get reasoning, common sense, and reality together, hopefully, with the boundaries, the guardrails of the mind and emotion, we can use our will in a good way. I hope that helps you understand a little bit about who you are and about how you go about your ability of expressing yourselves. And if you'll come back next week to a coffee chat, I'll talk to you about emotion, because that's where we get a lot of our energy and our fuel from. Thanks for stopping by this week, and as always, I hope to see you next week on a coffee chat.